We need to slow down. I mean, what are we really in the rush for? I've caught myself a few times in the past week or so, just in such a rush, in a rush to get up in the morning, in a rush to go to work, in a rush to come home, in a rush to go to sleep. But I mean, what is the rush? It's like we think that if we don't hurry up and do everything right now, then we're never going to get there. But I mean, that's not true. As long as you're moving forward, one step at a time, you will get to wherever you want to go. So that's my message for today. Slow down. There really is no rush. There really is no place that you have to be right now. Why not just enjoy this present moment? Enjoy life. Enjoy everything that's going on around you, the good and the bad. It's all a part of your journey. It's all a part of your life. So why be in such a rush to just do everything, to get everything done? Enjoy them. I mean, the more that I think about it, the more that I realize that for me personally, I feel like if I don't hurry up and just get it done, then something bad's gonna happen. If I don't hurry up and do it, then somehow everything, the world is gonna end or something's gonna happen. But I mean, that's not really the case, is it? As long as we're doing our best, then that's all that matters. There's no time limit for our lives. I know for the longest time for me, I thought there was some kind of time limit, some timeline, like things had to go in this order, in a specific order. But really, it's like things happen when they happen. When you ask the universe for something, it shows up. And the crazy part is that, crazy and yet unsurprising part, is that it shows up when you least expect it. Like, for example, I asked the universe for ways to test myself. And it's private, so I'm not going to say exactly what I was testing or how I was testing it, but I asked the universe to test me, to test something about me, a characteristic, something that I've always lacked in, something that I've been wanting to improve. So I asked for a way to test myself. I asked for something to happen. And I can't remember when I asked that. It was maybe a week or two ago. But the past couple of days, I've noticed that the universe has been testing me in these ways. I'm just going to say it. I asked for the universe to test me because I wanted to see if I had the strength to speak up, because that is something that I have always lacked in. Speaking up, speaking my mind, not being pushed around. And I wanted to be tested because I thought that this time things would be different. And guess what? The universe tested me a couple times, a few times, a couple days apart, and I failed every single one. I didn't speak up when I should have. I didn't intervene when I should have. I didn't stand up for myself when I should have. I fucked up again. It's like I was psyching myself up. Like I was telling myself like, oh, if this ever happens again, I'm gonna speak up and I'm gonna defend myself and all these things. And in my mind, it sounded so perfect. It sounded so like so masculine, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And I saw it playing out in my head. But then when it actually happened, it was completely different from what I had imagined. And I kind of froze. I froze and I didn't say anything. And I noticed that since I was a child, that would be what would happen. I would freeze. I would shake. I wouldn't say a word. And even now, as an adult, I still struggle with that. However, I made a commitment. I promised myself today that the next time this happens, because I know I will be tested again. I don't know when or where, but the next time it happens, I will be ready and I will speak up. I will do something. And honestly, I'm afraid. However, I know that in order to move on to the next level, I have to pass this test. Because if you think about it, you don't move on to the next test until you pass the previous one, like school. You don't move on to third grade unless you pass second grade. You don't move on to high school unless you pass eighth grade. You don't graduate unless you pass high school, right? That's how it is. So with the universe, there is some kind of test. Maybe for you, it's different than me. For you, it could be something about loving yourself. Maybe you grew up not loving yourself and you were tested with the people that you dated. And, maybe you've been in abusive relationships. And in a way, the universe has been testing you to see if you would show yourself enough love and self-respect to get out of that. Your situation could be similar to mine. Maybe you've had low self-esteem as a child because you were abused or something happened to you. And so you never really spoke up. And so all throughout your life, you're tested in different ways. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. You're tested. You're tested. And every time you fail, you just get tested again, and you just keep getting tested over and over and over again until you either decide this is how I am or I want to change. And you know what the worst part is? If you decide this is just who I am, the tests aren't going to stop. Things are still going to be that way. You're still going to get tested, except instead of a test, it's like that's just your life. You're just treated like shit or something. And I mean, that sounds terrible. I wouldn't want that. So, I mean, the trick is to decide you want to be the type of person that stands up for themselves, the type of person that respects themselves, that loves themselves. And then with that, you will be tested as well. You love yourself. Here's something terrible that happens. Test. Do you still love yourself? Yes. Boom, you pass. Move on to the next test. Or you fail. You love yourself. Here's a test. Boom, you fail. Now you don't love yourself. And then you're tested. It's very complicated, very interesting. I mean, but yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep bettering yourself. Pass those tests.